Hey everyone, what neighborhood is filled with lush greenery of two kinds? Stick around on Neighborhoods You Need to Know to find out next. Hey everyone, I'm John Afreitas, I'm a local realtor with Sutton Summer Realty, bringing you another fantastic neighborhood you need to know. Today I'm bringing you the neighborhood of the Bridle Path in Toronto. Yes, the Bridle Path. This video is less about maybe knowing a neighborhood you might want to move into, more about covering off how the most rich in the country actually live. So this will be a little bit more of a fun video than an informative one, but we will talk about kind of the amenities in the area and what the richest of rich are used to, as well as we'll dive into some of the people who live there, as well as kind of what the home prices look like. First, let's talk about its location. So the Bridle Path area is located in the city of Toronto. You can see from this overall map here that downtown Toronto is here, and that if you notice, the biggest luscious patch of greenery in around that area is right here. And that's why the Bridle Path is also located right there. Now, if you dive into that location a little bit deeper, you'll see that the Bridle Path is surrounded by several other neighborhoods. You've got Lawrence Park, you've got Mount Pleasant, you've got Leaside, you've got a whole bunch of other neighborhoods in around there. To the east, there is Lawrence Village, which is a very nice high-end village that many people who live in the Bridle Path can easily get to. It's got shops, amenities, high-end restaurants. You've also got a village to the south end of Bridle Path, and that is the Bayview and Eglinton neighborhood village. Now, within the Bridle Path area, there is obviously Sunnybrook Hospital, which is one of the world's most renowned cancer research hospitals. You've also got York University campus, which one of their campuses is located within the Bridle Path area. Also within the Bridle Path, you have the Toronto Botanical Gardens. And that is a lush, beautiful garden area. But that's not the only lush, beautiful park space in around the Bridle Path. As you can see, there are dozens of other park areas in around the Bridle Path. And this is one of the reasons it is so desirable for the wealthiest to live. Now, really brief history on the area itself. So, as most of Toronto, back in the 19th century, there was nothing really there except farmland. And there were some mills that started some development in the mid-1800s. However, it wasn't until the Bayview Bridge was built over the Don Valley region that really took off development in the area, connecting actual Bridle Path with the rest of the city. From there, that's where everything exploded. And you find yourself now being amongst some of the richest people in the country and actually in the world. Some of the people who have lived in the Bridle Path are people such as Elton John, who's lived within the Bridle Path area. You've also have people such as Gordon Lightfoot, who still lives in the Bridle Path area. He's a well-known Canadian artist. Of course, many of you have heard that Prince used to reside in the Bridle Path area. And Mick Jagger has also spent time within the Bridle Path as well. Now, you've also had many visitors who have spent time in the Bridle Path. You've got Margaret Thatcher, who spent time there on travel business. Pierre Trudeau has stayed within the region as well. Richard Nixon has also stayed within the Bridle Path. Other really famous people such as Celine Dion has owned property in the Bridle Path. And of course, the most well-known resident of the Bridle Path is Drake. And Drake still lives there in his palatial mansion, which is off of Post Road. It is one of the largest mansions in and around the area, estimated value to be about $100 million. Now that was a couple years ago, so tack on like 30% to that now. So it's well over $100 million in value. Now, Drake's palatial estate is filled with amazing amenities. It's got, of course, swimming pools, like 10-car garages, an indoor basketball court, an onyx soaking tub, everything you would expect a multimillionaire to have. An interesting fact about the actual properties in the area, well, here's an aerial view of the Bridle Path again. You can see to the left are some of the most palatial estates within the Bridle Path, and to the right are some of the more modest estates within the bridle path. Now, those more modest properties, they're still massive. I mean, you're talking about properties that are over 75 foot wide and nearly 200 foot deep. And there's an example of one right there. But when you compare the size of that to a palatial estate in the bridle path like that, you can see you can fit a half a dozen of those properties within a palatial estate. Oh, and let's compare it to a standard city style lot like this. You can fit a dozen of those. So that just gives you a perspective of how large those properties and lots are. Now, really brief, let's talk about the actual values in the area. Okay, so the written average value in the area is somewhere in around $3.5 million. However, that certainly is not indicative of some of the largest, most palatial estates in the area. So, as an example, here's a view to some of the current listings in the area. You can see, you've got a small, measly $8 million property that's being listed. You've also got a $25 million palatial estate that's being listed. And you've got a 3-bedroom condominium unit that's being listed for just over $8 million. So, I mean, very few people could even think of moving into the bridle path. Like I said, 0.1% of people can actually move in and live there. I believe the average annual income would have to be north of $1 million to be able to afford to live there. So just under 2,000 people call that area home on a regular basis. So it certainly is an elite, very interesting and affluent area. The richest neighborhood in Canada is the Bridle Path, and I hope you're a little bit more informed about how the other half lives. So I'm John DeFreitas, local realtor with Sun Summer Realty. Hope you enjoyed that neighborhood, and I'll bring you another neighborhood again real soon. Take care, everyone.